If I had to learn trading again from zero, here's exactly what I would do differently so that you don't waste years of time chasing the wrong things. So, step one would be to find a mentor, right? And so, a couple of pointers for this are avoid anything flashy, avoid anything that tells you it's going to be easy, and look primarily for results or a community of people that also have results from this mentor. We're trying to get you through the learning stage as fast as possible so that you can actually start seeing some sort of results way quicker. So pick a mentor, right? Now, there are really only two mentors that I would probably suggest, and one guy is called David from Season Capital, and the other guy is Omar, and he runs a group called the Interbank. And I just know that these guys have a really strong community and lots of successful students, and I myself have learned a lot from both of them guys. You want to avoid anything markety like pictures of nice cars, watches, or big payouts. You want to find the guys that are really actually doing it and really know what they're talking about, and avoid the whole marketing side of things, because a lot of those guys make their money from selling stuff. But you want to look primarily for the guys that are actually doing it every day in, day out. They're on the markets, predicting price, they're taking their own trades, they have a community of profitable traders, they've proven their consistency. Those are the people that you want to hunt out, and I would suggest obviously David and Omar, given that I personally learned a lot from them. And I probably learned the most when I started listening to these guys rather than just going out and trying to figure it out on my own on watching YouTube videos and going through the whole phase of trend lines and loads of indicators. Really, especially if you've not traded before, I would suggest that you go right to ICT's concepts, because personally for me, as a very logical thinker, it makes a lot more logical sense to me, his concepts, than anything else. But at the same time, you could probably make most retail stuff work, but I would just stay really clear from that stuff. So point number two will be backtest the living shit out of their strategy or their way of trading, right? Because a strategy is not typically how I believe the market works. I don't think there is one set exact pattern or play that you take every single time. I rather believe in order flow and liquidity and making sure that you know that you're on side when all of the order flow is aligned and trading in high probability conditions. I don't really believe anymore in just taking a pattern that you see. I think there needs to be a lot more context and a lot more probabilities, understanding of order flow and liquidity and intermarket analysis and fundamental analysis for you to actually be a long-term profitable trader rather than just taking pattern trading and then praying that it's profitable, right? And maybe that's because I believe that there should be more substance to it than just trading patterns, because this is a professional market and it's driven by larger things than just market structure shifts and fair value gaps. But you should backtest the living shit out of whatever it is they're teaching you, because you're going to learn the most that way. You're going to get the most experience that way. You're going to learn a lot about yourself. You're going to learn a lot about the strategy. You're going to learn a lot about that particular way of trading. And you want to start building up your skills immediately. Because if you only watch their content and then you watch their calls in the live market, you never will learn how to trade on your own. So you immediately, once you learn their concepts, right, you want to be backtesting, studying, building a backlog of data that you can improve and refine, and building up evidence that you can trade at least at break even using this edge. Because sometimes when you learn an edge, you can be break even and then a couple of minor tweaks will help you become profitable. So you want to at least be able to backtest their way of trading and come out break even, because that means that you've got a lot of area for refinements and improvements you'll be able to find, and then eventually you'll start to figure it out and make it work for you. But you want to find a mentor, spend 3 months with them, absorbing everything they teach you at the same time as studying the live market in real time, studying their calls, looking for their concepts. And then you want to backtest the shit out of it. And I'm talking at least 100 trades. And then you can see the percentages in terms of win rate. You can see, is it profitable? It's the fastest way you're going to get a feedback loop of your own trading, your own psychological issues that you have to deal with, your own misunderstanding of what they're teaching you. So I highly recommend that you backtest, especially as a beginner or like a newer trader, or even just for any particular strategy or way of trading. I think you should backtest it just to get that practice and experience. Like a footballer practices more than they plays, and you need to be the same as a footballer, even as a trader. So if you do want to backtest, there is a link below to FX Replay, which is the best backtesting software out there. It's so much better than using TradingView's replay feature because you can't really cheat. You can't really lie to yourself about what you would have done or what you wouldn't have done. It's the real stuff, and you are going to get the best feedback from doing that. So if you want to start backtesting, use that, and you can use the code JakeG below to get 15% off. And I'm pretty sure that's recurringly, so you can save some money doing that. Use the code JakeG to get 15% off if you want to use that software to improve your trading. So number 3 is start practicing on an FTMO practice account, right? So you can go on FTMO, which is the funding company, if you don't know that already, and you can buy their accounts. But before you do that, you can also do practice accounts. And I'd highly suggest that you get a free practice account and you try to pass them, because that will give you real market live experience. So you did the backtesting, and now you're going to get real live experience from trying to pass this paper trading account on FTMO, following their rules, following their conditions, and trying to get 10% profit target while staying within all their rules and boundaries. And this will open up a whole new door of problems, most likely. Like, you're going to face a bunch of psychological problems. Maybe you're going to face problems with patience. Maybe you're going to face problems with FOMO. But this is your place to iron them out as best you can and really familiarize yourself with the whole prop trading space, because that is the way that you're going to be able to leverage trading to get quite wealthy, because most people don't have the starting capital to actually become wealthy, right? I'll probably say you would need like 100K of your own trading capital, making 3 to 5% a month to be able to comfortably live off it. So prop firms are really the best way that you're going to get that leverage. So familiarize yourself with that and start doing practice accounts. And it's okay if you lose them, but you want to start doing the practice FTMO accounts to get that live experience under the conditions, under the pressure, and familiarizing yourself with that whole thing. Number 4 would be journal everything that you fucking can, right? Like, I can't emphasize this enough. Your journal is your edge. So you want to journal everything about your trades. I track the weekly, the daily, the 4 hour, the 1 hour, the 50-minute, my entry time frame. I track all of those screenshots. I track the date, the time, the direction, the specific strategy, the higher time frame, context and probability. I track all the details of what exactly I was seeing. And then I track all the details of my emotional state, why the trade didn't go to plan, why it worked well. I track absolutely everything so that I have everything I need to be able to go back and look for improvements and refinements, so that I can keep sharpening my edge and find errors, find mistakes, see what worked, see what didn't, constantly. Like, it's not going to be easy. Even I find it boring to do. Even I fight procrastination trying to do it as well. It's not going to be easy. It's not fun. It's not really glamorous at all, but it is the work that you're going to have to do if you really want to see some sort of improvement and refinement. It's not going to come from just watching YouTube videos and then just trying to take trades. You need to track everything. So point number 4 is journal everything so you can study all of your technical analysis and your emotions to find the areas that you can improve to sharpen your edge. If you want a link to my Google Sheets document where I track everything, just comment below and I'll reply to your comment. I'll send you a link to one that you can fill out yourself. I've tried to streamline it as much as I can for myself, but you might have to tweak a few things here and there. So point number 2, 3, and 4 all linked together, right? You want to back test the shit out of your strategy. You want to practice it on an FTMO account. You want to track everything, and then you want to refine it and keep going through that process until you start to see some sort of profitable results. Once you have seen some sort of profitable results on that process, that is when you can actually invest some money into a real funding account and start trying challenges and trying to pass the challenges so that you can get that funding, which is going to be your leverage to actually making money long term. But I recommend that you don't jump straight into this, because I've spent hundreds, maybe more than £1,000 on accounts and failed a lot of them. So you're going to waste money if you just jump into that right away. And I'd highly suggest you just improve your skills and try to become the best trader you possibly can and see some sort of consistency before you dive into real live markets and invest like a good amount of money into some accounts. Now, along the way, you can obviously still have guidance from your mentor, which I would probably suggest during this phase. But at some point, you are going to have to cut off the noise from the outside world, because if you want to become a trader for yourself, You can't rely on anything other than yourself, right? You can't be looking at someone's outlooks and then trading in alignment with their outlooks. You need to learn how to do it all by yourself so you can be fully self-reliant. And that's an issue I see a lot of people do. They don't really step out of the shadow of their mentor, and so that they don't really learn how to do it on their own. And as of the past couple months, maybe more, I've stepped out of the shadow of the people I learned from, and I've just been trying to implement everything I do on my own so I can become self-sufficient. And it's really been the best thing for me. It's forcing me to work harder. It's forcing me to be more intentful, to do better analysis, to build the habits of those guys, because they turn up every day, they do outlooks, they journal, they track trades. And if you're just following them, you're not going to do that because they're basically doing all the work for you. So you need to step out the shadow of your mentor eventually. And maybe by now it will have been a year, right? Between these 1 to 5 steps, it probably will have been around a year. I'm not going to bullshit you and tell you it's a couple of months. If you really want to improve and become the best trader you can, then it's going to take a year. It's going to take maybe even 2 plus years, right? That's really like only a small percentage of you are going to be able to make it in just 2 years, right? Because fundamentally, trading is like the biggest self-improvement game there is. You have to deal with every single emotion under the sun. You have to deal with everything that's wrong with yourself. You have to build your patience. You have to build your discipline. You have to build your consistency. So it's like the ultimate self-improvement game. And if you are lazy or you don't have the ability to work hard, this is going to be 100 times harder than you for someone who is already consistent and already disciplined and hardworking, right? It's not a get-rich-quick scheme, I'm sorry to tell you. It's probably the most get-rich-hard scheme that you could possibly do, actually, because that real live environment where there's real risk and real money on the line, and I'm not talking about the paper trading account that you need to pass, I'm talking about the money you invested to get that account. It's really going to make a big difference psychologically, which you're also going to have to deal with. So then you go back to step 4, which is just journaling everything you can and finding areas for improvement. And then eventually, after doing this over and over again and improving and improving and improving, eventually you will pass and you will get a payout. And then I always recommend to anybody is that as soon as you are up on a real funding account, take the payout, because then you're going to build that positive feedback loop. Okay, I've got a payout. I've done it once. I can do it again. And you're going to build that momentum slowly. So those are the 5 points that I wanted to cover in this video. That is how I would start trading again from zero after 4 years of trading and doing all the bullshit that you shouldn't do. So if you do these steps, you're probably going to make your journey a lot quicker. But some final notes that I want to say is 1, it's going to be hard. 2, it's going to take longer than you think it's going to take. 3, focus on becoming the right person, building the right habits and systems, and becoming a profitable trader rather than just trying to make money. That's the wrong way to do it. You're going to get there much quicker if you try to become the right person than trying to just make the money. 4 would be, don't compare yourself to anybody else, because that is detrimental to your success, right? Everybody's on their own journeys. Just focus on your own lane and don't look outside of it. It's going to take a different amount of time for everybody. Some people are going to get it quicker than others. So just focus on yourself. And 5, don't give up when it's not working. Stick to your strategy, go back to the notes, keep practicing, keep finding refinements. You're probably not going to get it the first time, but you don't want to jump around, because that is when you're going to really slow down your progress. Pick one thing and stick to it. The grass is not greener anywhere. Trust me. I know it probably feels like that, but it isn't. The grass is greener where you water it, as they say. So water your own grass. Constantly try to improve and become the right person. So with that being said, guys, don't forget that there is the FX replay link in the description. Use code JG to get 15% off. I would highly recommend that to improve your trading. Join the Telegram if you want to message me or you want to hear a bit more from me. And also hit the subscribe button, as I'm trying to give you guys as much value as possible to improve yourself as a man and to improve your trading as well. So as always, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.